Hi, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to be moving on and pretty much doing the last function or internal function of this program. So we're going to be running ask again. So pretty much what this is going to do is ask the user if they want to play again, and then it's not going to run all of the functions because remember, we're putting that in our main function. But what it's pretty much going to do is ask the user if they want to play again, and if they do, they pretty much just return something which we'll be using to identify it, which is a Boolean. We'll talk about that in a second, and obviously vice versa if they say no. So let's get started. And the first thing I want to do is talk about Boolean values. So pretty much a Boolean is just a data type, just like a string or a number, and there's only two possible values, true and false. Now, you have to write them with capital letters, just make sure you do that, and pretty much this can be used to identify a lot of things. So pretty much, let's just say if we go up to this if statement here, what we're doing here is this, when we write this out, it's going to either give us true or false. So pretty much what this is saying is if true, then do this, and we're just going to check if this is true. It doesn't run if this evaluates to false. So at the core of everything, and especially if statements and loops and pretty much a lot of the stuff in programming, it all comes down to these two values, true and false. So we're going to be working with them in this video. So the first thing we want to do is ask the user to play again. So what I'm going to do is create a new variable, ask again. Well, that's actually the name of the function, so I'm just going to call it again. And then we're going to set this to an input. We're going to say, would you like to, well, it's not really play again, so I'm going to say enter another command. It's getting a little bit long. Make sure to put a space there to give some space to the user. And now what we're going to do is kind of make this a little bit easy to work with. So pretty much, let's just go ahead and write some pseudocode or some comments here, see if we can get it. If yes, return true. If no, return false. So that's pretty much what we're going to do. Now, let's get started. The easiest way to do this is with an if statement. So I'm going to say if again is equal to yes. Now remember, pretty much what's going to happen here is we're going to say again, and they're going to type in yes or no or whatever we want. And we're pretty much just going to check if yes or whatever they type in is equal to yes. So if this is yes, for example, if yes is equal to yes, which is true. So it is true, and we will go forward and return true. So we're going to say return true here. And then I'm going to say here, if again is equal to no, return false. So pretty much what we're actually going to do is in our main function here, we're going to start running a loop, and it's going to get a little bit complicated, and I'll talk about it once we get there. But pretty much what we're going to do is just check the value that we get from ask again. And if it's true, we're going to do something with it. So we'll talk about that in a future video, but that's pretty much it for the again function, or ask it again function. All we have to do is use these Boolean values and make everything a lot easier. Now, this doesn't have to be true and false. We could check for 0 and 1, for example. So this could be 0 and that one could be 1. But the reason we use true and false over something like numbers or strings is because it's really easy to work with, and you won't get mixed up or have, conflicting variables if you use Booleans. Because if you use numbers, sometimes, maybe it can accidentally get a 2 in there or an extra number. Maybe it's not 0 or 1. So using true and false really makes it easy for this purpose, and that's why we use Booleans. All right, let's move on.